Let's talk about levels of courage. Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing family, clothes, and pain, and leaving everything you know to take a chance and hop a train and travel to a land you've never seen, not knowing what's in store, all because you believe that you and those that you love deserve more.
Being a relay kid meant that schools were overcrowded and you had to go to school a half a day. If you were a kindergartner through third grader, you went in the mornings. Afternoons were for the fourth, fifth, and sixth graders.
Cleveland has a very rich history relative to civil rights and racial activism and progress.
So much of the civil rights movement was about education. Because when you think about employment and housing, all that stems from education, being aware. And so many of our ancestors literally risked their lives in the Great Migration to get to the North. And when they got here, they were so completely surprised at what they were met with.
Imagine getting to that new land, facing new evils and hunger, slums so bad that they reached Langston's words, old homes that break and crumble, coming from a southern violence to a northern lack of care, where your existence is ignored and all your options are impaired.
My father, he had what we would call a hissy fit because he felt like he could have stayed in the South.
I don't think my parents had ever gone, honestly, east of maybe downtown. So going to Mount Pleasant, going to East 152nd was going to uncharted territory.
And a lot of people think desegregation was east side to west side, but it wasn't. And I always tell people 75th in Kinsman to 75th in Broadway. But what a difference 3 or 4 streets make. Because from Garden Valley to Slavic Village, it might as well have been east side to west side.
During that time, we got chased home in the evenings. They didn't want us in their neighborhood.
They had touted this as the land of milk and honey. He felt like the North was no different from the South.
Let's talk about levels of courage, where the schools help shape the future, but the schools for you and yours are overlooked and outmaneuvered, underfunded, overcrowded, treated as an afterthought. But education is the key. Our Black futures come with a cost.
I thought that was really unfair that, Black students got less education, based on their race, based on their skin color. Being a student at that time, I feel like I would be very nervous, but I would know that I'd be a part of something that would, later be talked about in a good way, something that would be remembered, and people that would, look for inspiration when they need to do things and stand up for things that they believe in.
Let's talk about levels of courage. How do these people fight back? What makes someone lie in the path of a bulldozer's heavy frame? What makes Black mothers storm the steps and protest through the storm and rain?
He had a spot on his head from that hit for years, a big black spot. And we didn't know the details until my mom told us about it and Dad told us about it. And if I'm not mistaken, and correct me, Mother said as they were trying to get him out, that's when they started hitting him, bringing him out of that ditch. And it was just, if you can say by the grace of God, that he had to come out the ditch anyway because he had to go back to work. But in the meantime, he was beat, bringing him out of that ditch.
What makes young people speak with boldness on what they know they deserve and make the ones in power have to take heed to their every word? What brings that fire, passion, spark, desire, courage to see better, where the youth say we won't give up till these policies are severed?
To that point that this wasn't that long ago, it's in our own city. When I see this and I think about all the work that not only we're doing in the school system, but that we're doing in the city, I would ask not only myself, but all the citizens here in Cleveland and my colleagues who are in this work, are there systemic policies? Are there things that we're doing to get in the way of true liberation? What is stopping us from reaching the excellence and the potential we want to see in all of our citizens and all of our kids?
where the elders risk their life and limb to bridge a brighter path so our young Cleveland kids can see a future that's not cut in half.
This is CJ Prentice. I've told people for years that she died about a year ago, the most articulate, passionate, knowledgeable person about young people and education in the state of Ohio.
They brought in a superintendent. His name was Leftwich from Boston, and he was speaking at the City Club. We had just announced we were forming Welcome, and on that elevator, I saw this very well-dressed woman in an afro, and I introduced myself, and she said, I'm doing something just like it. I set up Black community leaders for peaceful school desegregation, and that is where I met my wife, CJ Prentice, and we became the co-leaders of Welcome.
You and I are here from their courage, and that fire lives in us. We have the blood that hopped the train, marched through the streets, stayed on the bus. We have the fight to make our voices ring from White House to our way. And if we utilize that fire, change can still come in this day.
There is no excuse for us not to be able to offer the same high quality education that kids in Solon and Shaker and Twinsburg get. They deserve the damn best. And we have a moral obligation to do whatever it takes to make that vision a reality. That requires hard choices, that requires political will, that requires saying no, and it also requires us to think differently about what systems are broken, why they're broken, and how we restructure these systems so they're no longer broken for the next generation of young children going through our system.
We have a long mountain to climb. Our freedom race is our true relay. It's the road of passion, focus, power, truth, and hope where we stay. Our focused minds are unyielding. Our voices have strength and nerve. Let's use them to continue reaching what we know that we deserve.